We got an update on Jonathan Taylor to get to, plus Marquise Brown potentially headed to Carolina to the Panthers. We'll explain. Also, the latest on Randy Gregory after he was released by the Denver Broncos. Where could he go next? I got the top destinations we'll get to in a matter of moments. But first, make sure to join us coming up this weekend here on NFL Daily by Chat Sports as we'll be doing our NFL Red Zone whip around coverage where we will give you the updates on every game around the league happening in real time with scores, breakdowns, analysis, and more. Do not miss it. Coverage begins 1 p.m. Eastern Time live right here on NFL Daily by Chat Sports. So Jonathan Taylor is coming off of the PUP list and in a, I would say, surprising move after requesting a trade and all the drama that has unfolded over the last several weeks, he has committed himself to playing the rest of the year for Indianapolis. Here's what he had to say about his return. If somebody wasn't committed, they wouldn't be here. I'm here. And potentially speaking, we could see Jonathan Taylor play as early as this Sunday for Indianapolis. What did Michael Scott say? Something about, the turntables? Nobody saw this coming. This is a wild turn of events, to say the least. But I think what Jonathan Taylor is doing here, I really doubt, in fact, I highly doubt that this Indianapolis Colts organization made it right with Jonathan Taylor and they're singing Kumbaya and all that. What I think Jonathan Taylor is trying to do is get on the football field, prove that he's healthy, and then make a case to get traded and get that contract to wherever he wants to go. Jonathan Taylor, the last time we saw him on the football field in 2022 was really solid. Had 861 yards off 11 carries, 4.5 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. Everyone, of course, points back to that 2021 season when he was phenomenal, the best season of his career where he led the league in rushing and in touchdowns with 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5.5 yards per carry. Will he be that same player that he once was? That remains to be seen. Now, your chance to weigh in. Our pinned comment today, will Jonathan Taylor remain with the Colts? Does this have some staying power? Is he going to stick around after the trade deadline? Or is this just an audition of sorts for other teams? Weigh in, tell us what you think. Y for yes, in for no, and let us know. Marquise Brown. There is a report out that there is some interest of him potentially ending up with the Carolina Panthers of all teams. Now, you might be saying to yourself, how did we get to this point of the idea of Marquise Brown leaving Arizona? Didn't he just get there? Yes. In fact, he did just arrive in Arizona last season. But you look at this Arizona Cardinals team, they are shuffling the deck, right? They're rebuilding that franchise, and the current management there isn't the ones that brought in Marquise Brown. MLF Football tweeting out, the Carolina Panthers have inquired about the availability of Arizona Cardinals standout wideout Marquise Brown. Per an NFL front office source, Carolina has been inquiring around the league about receivers, and they have shown a strong interest in the Speedy Brown, who is a former first-round selection. We'll dive more into this and talk about the possibility of Brown heading to Carolina in just one moment. Before we do, today's show is sponsored by Odds Are. Now, let's make one thing clear. Odds Are is not a betting app, but Odds Are, its AI technology gives you the smart bets they recommend that you should be making on betting apps. Look, plain and simple, luck is not strategy, folks. They don't take your bets. They make you better at making bets. So, download Odds Are today and go to oddsare.com/NFL Daily, where you will get a 30-day free trial just for viewers of NFL Daily. And you can go through their catalog of games and see which ones they recommend that you should be betting on and the ones to stay away from. Here's how it works. You want to look for the green values. Green means go, red means bad. So tonight, for example, Thursday Night Football, Washington and Chicago, they are recommending the under 44.5. And the Bears to cover at 5.5, as well as the Bears to win outright at plus 211. Also, some other notable wagers courtesy of OddsR this weekend. You can see a lot of red on the Giants-Dolphins game, so stay away from that for the most part. Some of the others include the Packers and the Raiders game. Value on the over there, 44.5. Raiders defense stinks, so that makes a lot of sense of why you would want some points in that one. But you can check this out, not just NFL, but also MLB, playoffs going on, and other sports as well at OddsR. Check them out. Download it. Terms and conditions do apply. oddsr.com/NFL Daily for a 30-day free trial now. Tell them the Tyler Jones Chat Sports sent you. You'll be glad you did. So here's the deal with Marquise Brown. He came to Arizona last year in exchange for a first-round pick, and I think the Cardinals quickly regretted making the trade that they did. They're not getting a first-round pick for Marquise Brown now, I can tell you that much. He missed most of last year with a foot injury, and he's only had one career 1,000-yard season. That was back in 2021. And there was this idea with Marquise Brown that he was kind of being held back in the Ravens' offense, that he and Lamar Jackson weren't on the same page. He goes to Arizona to play with Kyler Murray and everything, and he still just hasn't blossomed. Now, he's off to an okay start to this year. 2 touchdowns, 21 catches, 239 yards. But you put him in this Carolina offense, Bryce Young looking for some help, that young football team, that might be what Marquise Brown is looking for him to take that next step. As far as Carolina goes, I don't think the Panthers are very good. That is one of the worst rosters in the National Football League. But I give them credit for a team that is still figuring themselves out and planning for their future, for being aggressive, for making those phone calls and trying to find players like Marquise Brown. I don't know if he's going to end up there or not. I think there's a good chance he does get traded. Not sure about Carolina necessarily. But at least Carolina, they could just throw in the towel and try to tank another year and get a pretty good draft pick. But they're saying, you know what? We want to better our roster. We want to compete right now. We'll see what they do. Should the Panthers trade for Marquise Brown? What do you think about that possibility? If you think they should, type T for trade. If not, type P for pass. Comment. We want to hear from you here on NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Randy Gregory remains available to sign in free agency after his shocking release from the Denver Broncos, where he and Sean Payton and company just clearly weren't on the same page. If you recall, he was due to get a big contract to remain with the Dallas Cowboys last offseason. Ultimately, that fell through at the 11th hour with Steven and Jerry Jones. Ends up in Denver and hasn't been that great in Denver, if we're going to be completely honest with you. Look at these statistics here. 2022 had 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. That was it, compared to the year prior when he had 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. So far this year, 9 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and just 1 sack. Where could he potentially fit? I got 3 teams in mind to keep an eye on. The Los Angeles Rams are team number 1 on this list. They are looking for a running mate to go along with Aaron Donald. And the Rams, in their position, they're better than I think most people thought. Watch out for them to compete to potentially make that last run of sorts with this crew of Stafford, Donald, McVay, and company. Gregory could be a good running mate there and make life easier for Aaron Donald as well. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, you look at this Chiefs team, and they didn't really replace Frank Clark necessarily. And they're looking for some more potential pass rush help. Look out for Kansas City, and we have seen Andy Reid take on veteran players before and get that spark in their careers. So this could be a good fit for KC, and we know they're going to be contending for the Super Bowl. Third is the Baltimore Ravens, who are also looking for some pass rush help potentially. This could be a good fit for him as well. And the Ravens, that team is all in on trying to compete this season. So those are the teams that come to mind. We'll see ultimately where he ends up. What about you guys? I've given you 3 teams. Who are some others? Could he end up back in Dallas, quite frankly? Weigh in the comment section. Give me who you think is going to end up grabbing Randy Gregory and let us know. Subscribe to NFL Daily by Chat Sports for daily NFL coverage. Isn't that crazy how that works? as we're talking about the National Football League with news and rumors. We got our whip around coverage and more right here on the channel. Subscribe now for free, and we'll see you next time here on the NFL Day.